I hope y'all ready. Woo! We got the wolf in the house. We got the content creating realtor. Week 2, y'all, visibility plus credibility. Y'all know what that means. Profitability. All right. This week we are talking about content creation and marketing. Let's get it. See y'all in the stream. Okay. We hope y'all ready. Woo! Listen, we need everyone to subscribe. Please and thank you. My man, my brother, what is going on? We got the wolf in the house. We got the
Smooth intro
wolf.
there.
Got the wolf. What's going
Setting the
on, man?
vibes.
Week
Doing good,
two.
man. Happy to be here. Yeah.
You
We in
already
here.
know, man. Week two, visibility plus credibility equals profitability. Me and my brother, the Wolf of Broad Street, coming together for an action packed 6 week series, helping you take your personal brand to the next level. What's
Yes,
today,
indeed.
Wolf? What we got today? What we going to be talking about today?
Just like every day, content creating day. It might be Monday, might be Tuesday. It's hard to keep track, but
Man, listen, because you know what? Every single day is content day. And that's a
content
fact. And that's a fact.
day.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? We have the Wolf of Broad Street, Josh Buchter, publisher of Philadelphia Real Producers, which that's a magazine, which is a media machine, content creating machine. He told us last week how it's a straight content creating machine. So, Josh,
Yes,
I'm really
indeed.
excited to get started with this week, man, because we got a really good feedback last week. You know, we had a lot of people interested. We had a webinar on Friday, and then a lot of people, they had a lot of questions that kind of is probably going to overflow into what we're going to be talking about today with content creation and marketing. Developing a content strategy, a content calendar, um, best practices for creating engaging and shareable content. And one of my favorite things is when you create relevant content and you have people that share it that are a little bit more important than you, right? So that's something that I've always valued, and that's what I value about our relationship. But yeah, man, how was your weekend, Josh?
Weekend was good. Yeah, it was a busy week all in general last week, but we just kept it rolling into the weekend. Saturday, we had a chance to check out a new members only lounge in Doylestown called Frost. Thank you to Kim Porter, top producing Bucks County realtor, for the invite. Bethany and I enjoyed ourselves. That was pretty cool. How about you? Good?
Oh man, listen, it was a revival weekend, right?
Good, good,
And
good,
that's
good,
why
good.
I'm amped up because I
Yeah.
really feel like with our attempt and our effort, I really feel like there's some personal brands, Josh, that are going to get revived. There's some people
Mm-hmm.
that they're finally going to take social media to the next level. And it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be because of how we lay it out for them and kind of unpack some of these things we've been talking about. So,
Little spoon feeding action. We don't want people to feel overwhelmed or throwing the towel before they even start. You know what I mean? So it's best to keep it simple, get the wheels turning, and that's what we're here to do today.
and that's a really good point because sometimes I guess underestimate how much I know at this point and
Mm-hmm.
being able to explain it. And when we were on, shout out to Alicia Herrera, when we were on her
Shout out,
webinar on
Alicia.
Friday, she made it clear to me that Justin, sometimes you got to like bring it down a little bit, bring
Mm-hmm.
it down to like a fifth grade level. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're going to be doing here today.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, man.
I hope you guys are ready, and if you have comments, please leave them in the chat. We'll actually get to them, and we'll answer your questions right here on this live. But
Mm-hmm.
without any further ado, Josh, my brother, how can we how can we take everything we're learning and like what is a content calendar? Explain that
I
to me.
mean, think about your own calendar first. Before you even build a content calendar, look at your personal calendar for the day. I hope you all have a calendar. Hope follow your calendar and do your best to fill it up and keep busy with, all your appointments and time blockings and everything like that. What I suggest people do as far as content creation and working with first their own calendar is in the morning time when you wake up, when you're drinking your coffee, you're looking at your calendar, you're ideally going to identify something on your calendar that will be the highlight of your day, something interesting, something entertaining, something monumental, or even just a lunch with your grandma or something like that. Identify whatever the most interesting, shareable piece of content will be on your calendar. Think about what that picture is going to look like. Think about what the caption is going to say. And when that time slot comes up on your calendar, take the picture, drop the caption, and you're done for the day. That's just slow roll your way into getting used to posting daily on social media. It's a good way to start. Anybody can do that. And it's a good way to switch up your content too, because you're not always going to have a closing. You're not always going to be handing keys over. You're not always going to have the biggest deal of your life that day. But sharing something about your day, whether it be business or personal, is just a good way to get the wheels spinning on your whole social media campaigns, leading into more formalized, social media calendars. And a good tip also, what I used to do when I was trying to get in the habit of posting daily would be to set a recurring alarm on your phone that just says social media or social media post. And mine used to be 9 p.m. every single day, so that when that alarm went off at 9 p.m. and I saw that I hadn't posted anything, or I thought of something when that alarm went off that I should have posted, I would do it right then. I'm not as, statistics guy about the best times to post and things like that. There's far better experts, including Justin, to talk on that end. But I always found 9 p.m. people are done with work, they're done with their events, they're home, then maybe they're looking at their cell phone. And also it was like a way for me to wake up the next morning and see that while I was sleeping, there was, activity happening on the social media platforms. So starting out small like that,
Man, you just nailed it, bro, because that's a good point. And I never really even thought about that. It's like, yeah, at night, and I've been experiencing that with YouTube, right? Like I love waking up with new subscribers, right? I love it. I love it. So if you're watching this, I need you to, you know what I mean, real quick. So anyways, right, I had to do that. That was for free. But yeah, so let me ask you this, right? What you're saying is a really easy to do strategy that we can implement like tomorrow is using reminders on our phones. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Wow.
and it's a
This is getting
simple
easier, man.
recurring alarm every single day, just to remind you. You already got a calendar, so you're just identifying what's interesting, and all along the way, whether you think you'll post it or not, document your life. Have the people around you document your life. You don't have to post and use everything, but it doesn't cost anything to hit the record button or take a picture and save stuff for later. You don't have to drop it all at once, but get out of the scarcity mindset about I don't do enough to create enough content to put enough out there to be successful with social media, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Believe it or not, people are actually interested in what you got going on in your life. People are interested in your career, and
And you know,
it's
it's crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy you say that because sometimes what I experience, Josh, is like I'll whether it's a small project or just whatever the case may be, right? What I've noticed is people take so long to actually get the post up. And it's like if you
Mm-hmm.
already have the video content, that's why in the webinar I was showing people like Chat GPT, different tools
Mm-hmm.
where because sometimes it's like, oh man, I don't know, and then it becomes writer's block and you don't know what to put as far as the copy. But I really like what you're saying because that simplifies it and dumbs it down, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you don't have to be in every frame of this content either. If you identify you're taking a walk in the city and you see just like get on your artsy tip where you see like, the arches in Chinatown and like an ambulance coming down the block, and you just want to sit there and take a still frame shot for 10 seconds and then, upload a reel and put something that's trending over top of it or some motivational stuff and put a filter on it. You'd be surprised how good that stuff hits without you even need to be on camera or talking into the camera and stuff like that. So constantly keeping your eyes open for interesting things. Like you don't know how many millions of people in the world would love the opportunity to be where you're standing right now, just as you're going about your day.
Jeez. Jeez.
You know what I mean? A lot of people dream about coming to Philadelphia and that will never get here.
Yeah, man. And wow, you just really hit it off too because some of us are in a position or in a place or in a career that others would love to have, right? And that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
something I realized is like what I do is kind of it's different. Not everybody's doing it, but people actually they want to see it, right? They want to
Yeah.
see what's going on. They want to tap in. And what I was
You're
telling
doing the
people,
work anyway. You're doing the work anyway. Let the people see you work. You know what I mean? Just think about it as part
Exactly.
of your job. Yeah.
And real quick, Josh, right? I just want to do this, right? Because I want to help some people out, right? This blue verification badge used to take basically a certain amount of subscribers. Now, ask me if it's worth it. I don't know. But for $14.99, I now have a blue badge, which increases credibility, right? And from Meta, it actually gives a little bit more exposure. Um, so that's just one that was for free. I wanted to give people, but as well on the webinar, I didn't get to share my screen, and basically, I was trying to show people best practices for creating a reel. And to what you're saying is when we're walking down, whether we're in Center City or wherever we're at, it could be real easy, right? So I want to give this hack real quick, right? So anybody, right? Let's say you like this sound. You see at the bottom the arrow. That means it's trending, right? I want you to go up here and, oh, sorry. I want you to hit the save right there. So to what Josh is saying, now we have trending audio for that, for that next piece of content, right? So go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry. I just wanted to put
Yeah.
that out there.
That's perfect. And when your 9 p.m. alarm goes off, you go in there and you see what you had saved and you see what matches up with what's in your photo library, and you just drop it. You know what I mean? Um, and it get deeper, more strategic in your marketing campaigns, depending on what you've got going on. I build campaigns around my events. Not everybody's an event person, but every real estate agent watching this should consider themselves an event person, because there's no better way, in my opinion, to stay relevant and always have something to talk about than to consistently have events and webinars and first time home buyers and credit workshops and client appreciation events and all that type of stuff to promote. I sometimes bring up the analogy of like how Native Americans hunting like a buffalo way back in the day, after they hunted the buffalo, they would break that buffalo down into 100 different pieces and use it for 100 different ways. And you could do that with your marketing campaigns too. Like
Jeez.
you put it up, get a whiteboard and you put up whatever it may be. We have a big gala awards derby coming up in Bucks County, May 4th at the Buck Hotel. And there's so many different amenities and aspects of this event that are promotable. So why not have a different, post about the mobile cigar lounge, the floral wall with the photo booth, the 360 photo booth, the open bar, the catering, the menu selections, the DJ, the band, the attendees, the sponsors. That's 20 pieces of information at the end of the day, and 20 pieces of content that can creatively be put out there with the help of Canva or a VA, or just make it pretty, make it pop. There's millions and millions of templates on Canva. I was part of the Canva virtual conference. Over 1.5 million people were tapped in. They hosted it in Australia last week, and it was cool because they just continue to evolve. And these are things that we would pay thousands of dollars for in the past for complex marketing campaigns, but the
Yo,
work's already been done.
you're so right, and
Yeah.
it's almost like even with Canva, right? That's a great example of how like all platforms, every platform is trying to become that all-inclusive platform with all the features. So with Canva, you do get a little taste of Chat GPT, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they have the new feature where it's called Magic, right? So you already have that. They have the text to image where you can literally type in um, upcoming home buyers event and it will spit out an
Mm-hmm.
image for
Mm-hmm.
you. So,
Yeah.
geez. And
Yeah.
kind of too, like with what you're saying about all those other things going on, because we're like the next point, right, is getting other people to share your post, right? So what you
Mm-hmm.
just said is like the mobile cigar lounge. You got this going on. You got that is a great opportunity to make a great first impression to a lot of people as well, correct? Because now if you
100%.
create content, the mobile cigar lounge, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
You create content around that, you make it aesthetically pleasing, and then you share
Mm-hmm.
it. You don't think he's gonna share your post?
Of course they will.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the one thing like people ask me is like, well, how do I get other people to share it? You know, and it's like,
Mhm.
so I want you to expound on that a little bit about like our content creation efforts for networking in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, there should always be a call to action and an objective in everything that you do in marketing. And, you know, it could be DM me for the link. It could be click the link in bio to schedule a discovery call. It could be join my email list. It could be share this post. You could come up with drawings where people have to like, share, and tag somebody in your post over the next 24 hours to get a $20 Wawa gift card or something. Just incentivizing people to get involved one way or another. Sometimes you got to incentivize people to do that, and do it organically. Don't count the likes necessarily, don't count the views. You will get discouraged, and the algorithms could work against you sometimes and not be in your favor, and it'll be easy to say, nah, this ain't working, this ain't it, I'm gonna put this down. And you're only hustling backwards that way. So don't do it for the likes and the algorithms necessarily. Do it for yourself, and the people that are tapped in. There's a funny meme like, shout out to the five people that like and comment on all my stuff. I'm going to the gas station. Y'all need anything? It's just like,
Yo, straight
just
up.
just start, where you're at, and continue to grow upon that, and get creative, get people involved, ask questions, um, and reciprocate the love too. When you have an opportunity to, you know, build the interactions and engagement for the people in your network, it'll come back. So just continue to, givers gain, right?
Yeah, and I want to share a story about like the network, right? Because
Mhm.
even last year when I met you, we were creating content, and at that time I really had limited knowledge of like how to optimize on YouTube correctly. And I literally was creating content for the value add to you, for the impression that I wanted to leave. And but it was extremely discouraging, and you're coming and you're looking at these views, and it's like 3 views, 2 views, like crickets, right? But
Mhm.
that like for me, I wasn't ever doing it for the views. I was actually doing it because I genuinely wanted to connect with people, and I actually knew I was going in this direction, right? So I like that point about like not worrying about the views, because it could destroy people if that's what you
Yeah.
focus on. Because
Yeah.
now I'm getting the views, and we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching, I
Nice.
need you to
Congrats.
subscribe. Like this,
Mhm.
share it. But nice, nice, nice.
And then once you start to monetize on your post and your YouTube's accounts, it's going to be even easier to keep this stuff up. You know what I mean? So if people don't need to think about that if they're just starting now, but that's a long term thing that's achievable these days. And the algorithm gods aren't going to make it easy for you. But if you, stay consistent, and work with like the tools you're given, and it's understand it's their world. We're just living in it when it comes to social media algorithms, things like that. Just follow what we're saying, and we're not saying this because we have 100,000 or 1 million followers yet, but we're right
Yet,
here in Philly
keyword
in the
yet,
same industry, right? Exactly.
keyword yet, because we coming.
That's right.
So
And there's an ever, just like my business within the magazines and the events is a content creating machine. You'd be surprised, the real estate agents, their lives and their calendars is a content creating machine as well. New listings and video walkthroughs, and all the tips you have for buyers and mistakes to avoid, your open houses. These are just all the opportunities to let the people see you work, but also educate in an entertaining way, and inform, and inspire. I was with a group of real estate agents last week, and they were talking about New Jersey real estate and a mid-century type of architecture. And I was nodding my head like I knew what they were talking about. And I had to look up what mid-century architecture looked like. And, I didn't know. And I felt dumb asking them what that means. But looking at it on Google, it's like, floor to ceiling windows and sharp lines and open spaces, and good transitions from indoor to outdoor, and all this cool like retro stuff. And there's just tons of information out there that you could educate people on, educate yourself on first, and then just become an expert in your in your industry, in your neighborhood. Let people know what's going on in the neighborhood, drop some facts, some history on your neighborhood. And we're all surrounded by real estate, so you're never going to run out of things to look at or talk about.
Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Now, all right, that was good, right? So I do have a question, right? Because the first time I heard about a content calendar was through you. So thank you so much. Thank you kindly. So how long do you kind of plan out for content, or do you plan around the events and then create content around the events?
Well, we do have a social media manager that has a full calendar of everything that we need to post for the magazine. All the features are lined up on the calendar. We know what day we're going to share all the ads on our stories. We know when we're going to share like the meet the team and our partner index, and breaking down the magazine into all the different pieces that I was mentioning before and lining them up on a calendar. So it's at least a month out. We know what holidays are that month. We know which partners have birthdays that month who are going to get a shout out that day. There's so many different things that you could add to the content calendar, and just having like a nice sturdy month, I think is really good. But then having a sidebar calendar, or just your notebook of your daily notes. Think
Yeah.
about what you're going to post that day, or what you're going to talk about as far as that event goes that day. Or maybe you're in the midst of a top 5 tips for first time home buyers, and you're dropping one per day. Now you have Monday through Friday already lined up for that week, and maybe you already did all the recording, or you have all the graphic design work already done, so that it's just kind of set it and forget it. You got the whole thing covered, and you're already working on next week's content coordination. So I think having like a core, bare minimum set of things that you're going to post about for the month is great, but also leave room to get creative and see what the universe drums up for you. It doesn't have to be, I don't schedule posts, it's just got to kind of be like organic on my personal end, and what I'm feeling. You know what I mean?
Nice, nice, nice. And honestly, right, like, man, you hit a lot of gems within that too. Um, I know, like, lately what I've been experiencing is kind of like that repurposing and realizing that if you do have a webinar, right? Oh, let me get back on screen. Um, so for instance, if you do have a webinar, right? Even if you're thinking about it inside, about like, man, I want to do something, you don't know what it is, do a webinar, do a live, right? And that alone, even if you don't know much about content creation, there's so much you can do just within being able to screen record it. You know what I mean? And use iMovie or Video Leap or CapCut, Lightcut, some of these apps that we've been recommending. Um, but also, what you said is like, most of us entrepreneurs, right? We all have notebooks. We all keep notes. We all have daily things. And I heard this tip from another like YouTuber, but go through your notes and just sit in front of the camera and just go through and hash out some of the things that you've learned recently. That's another great way to create a lot of content, right?
Or if you have a backup phone or a backup camera and you're on the phone, maybe talking to a new client, or, talking to a vendor or a partner, and, just record with that second phone. And, I learned that from you, Justin. Like, I don't get rid of my old phones anymore. I've repurposed that my equipment into, content creating tools, and you could trim down that video to 5 seconds, and, put a border around it and put the captions on it, and now you got a piece of content. Maybe you just closed that deal and you were in your car, and nobody would have ever in the world would have known it except you and that person. But you dropped a line that really hit, and you wrapped up the conversation so good, and people got an insight into that, almost like they're a fly on the wall, and they're like, okay, that was real, that wasn't scripted, that really just happened. And they're the real deal.
Man, yo, I know people are getting a lot of value, and honestly, this stream we're gonna blow this thing up because I'm telling you,
Mhm.
by the 6th week, we're gonna have by week 6. We're anticipating to have at least 100 people on the stream, right? There's a couple
Absolutely.
people on here now. God bless the 5 of you, right? um, so if you guys got any questions, put it in the chat. But absolutely, Josh, and that's been my strategy, right? Because when it comes to you know, like production or like video equipment, right? Like to
Mhm.
actually get let's say a Sony, a mirrorless Sony, right? That's gonna cost you in the thousands. Um, so is a brand new iPhone. But the thing about like a brand new iPhone is you probably already paid off your phone that you have. So when it comes to like being able to upgrade, you don't necessarily have to turn that phone in. Like you can, but you can also keep it. And it's a lot more like I heard this saying before, right? Like you give LeBron James a basketball, it's worth $1 million, right? You give me a basketball, it's not worth so much. I don't, it's not my tool. I don't know how to use it. So you give me an iPhone though, that iPhone is now worth $1 million because I'm increasing the value. I know how to use it, right? So
Exactly.
that is definitely a quick tip, a hack. Anybody, if you're looking to create content, you're looking to increase production quality, go to your nearest whoever you use for cell phone provider, T-Mobile,
Look what I'm doing right now
Verizon.
too.
Get the second angle up, man. Come on, man. We working. As well as
Yeah.
this little box here, right, guys? Let me bring it up on the screen, right?
Hmm.
Let me show them how it's done.
Hmm.
Never have to fear about audio again.
Boom.
And even what me and you discovered, right? Using Switcher Studio, like right now, I'm actually using the Rodecaster Pro, which,
Mm.
but we realized last week we don't even need all of this, like because the way Switcher Studio has it set up, it's already good audio, and especially it's enough if you're a real estate agent and you're trying to get new buyers to trust you, right? It's not
Hmm.
about the audio quality or the picture quality or the newest thing. It's really just about being consistent and being able to stay in front of your potential client, right?
Hmm. And
Man,
your
Josh.
peers too. Like there's 18,000 licensed real estate salespeople plus in Philadelphia County alone. There's thousands of mortgage and title and home inspectors and all these different categories within the real estate industry. And for all the real estate agents watching here, especially if you're producing, these folks want to know you. They want to support you. They want to keep up with you and earn a chance at your business. So you're a hot commodity, and just understand that um, the B2B relationships that you have are just as important as the B2C, those potential clients that you're trying to reach. Because in general, activity creates activity. And the more you're out there and posting and getting engagement wherever it's coming from, it's only going to help you get to the end consumer and get more referrals. So tap into your network and your peers and all
Ladies
the
and
affiliates.
gentlemen,
Oh my
Your
bad.
network is your
Your
net worth.
network.
did you know your network is your net worth? Let's go get this money, people.
Yeah. I had to
That
have that
part,
on cue.
that part, that part. Yeah,
No, but
yep.
seriously, man.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
When you
It's
first
crazy.
started growing your social media, Josh, did you have any intentions on it being as large as it is now? And mind you, it's just the beginning. I know it's just the beginning too for both of our socials. Did you know
Mm.
it was gonna get to where it's at now?
When I first got the opportunity to start a Facebook account, it was because I was going to college. Like you had to be going to college to even get a Facebook, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This was
Yeah.
after I
Yep.
graduated high school in 2005. So I had no idea. If you scroll back, I'm in a white beater with a backwards hat and Budweiser cans and just all that high school and college stuff. So I wasn't even thinking about where it would go to here and now. You know, I'm a MySpace baby where I had, you know, my jam of the week posted on my profile and, you know, my top 8 and my top 16. I wasn't thinking about business. I wasn't thinking about, you know, social media as a networking tool and as a business tool. But I've always, you know, just, you know, thought back on that and where we are now. It's a completely different world. You know?
Can you tell me a little bit about like content creation and email list building, right? Because I remember when shout out to my man Darwin, right, from Non-Rep. You took me to the Non-Rep event. Your network is your net worth. How ironic, right?
Exactly.
And I remember you speaking at that event, and you were speaking specifically about social media and basically creating, you know, lists for different businesses. And can you tell the audience a little bit about that story?
Yeah, shout out Darwin Roman. You know, we were just at the Latino Chamber of Commerce inauguration last week up in North Jersey. He's the president of that chamber, and he's also, I don't know if anybody has heard yet, but Darwin Roman is currently ramping up Central Jersey Real Producers Magazine, which should be in print
Woo!
within the next couple months. So,
Come on, somebody.
power
Shout out to
power
my
moves
guy.
only. Power
Yeah.
moves, man. So yeah, I remember that luncheon. It was awesome. I encouraged everybody to take out their cell phone and scroll all the way down to the bottom of their address book and see how many contacts that they had in their phone. And I
Yep,
said
yep,
that's where
yep.
your network starts at. You know, people have a network in their pocket already. It might be a couple hundred people. It might be 10,000 people in your phone and everywhere in between. And you know, your marketing campaigns, whether they be text blast or email blast or anything like that. It does, some messages are good to get across to everybody in your network. Other messages should be like segmented into more relevant messages and asks. You know what I mean? So I got lists. I got, you know, my current distribution list for Philly Real Producers, the top 500 agents. My current distribution list for Bucks County, the top 300 agents. I've got lists for everybody that fell off of the top 500 and the top 300 over the years that are still real producers, community. You know what I mean? Um, got a list of all my active preferred partners who advertise with me and a list of all the people that should be advertising with me and a list
Hello.
of, you know,
Hello.
everybody that's ever been to one of my events. And you know, data is super valuable. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't overdo it with too many email blasts and messages. I do a quarterly newsletter that shows the 3, you know, editions from that quarter for Philly and Bucks and any events we got coming up and highlighting other things we have going on. And then in the meantime, it's those segmented, you know, marketing campaigns that go out depending on what the message and objective is. You know what I mean?
Man.
Just don't wind up on the PETA list. When I get a call that says PITA, it means pain in the ass, and I don't pick it up.
Yo. Sorry, y'all. I got a couple of those saved too, man. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. Man, wow, that was value packed, Josh. That was some flames. And yeah, definitely shout out to my man Darwin Roman. And even this, like there's some stuff we can unpack within that too, is like you took me along to this event where you were speaking at to provide value. And the person actually throwing the event, right, Darwin, I told him about the podcast, about the YouTube channel. First thing, what did he say? Yo, I got to get on that. You know, I got to come through, you know, and that was like one of, you know, another one of our like very first collaborations. And, you know, I remember when that video, like when we did that video, I was so proud of it. And it was like, you know, like 4 views, 5 views. And like, I'm going to put the video in the comments.
You should.
And it's, you know, it's not even up there like anything crazy now, but the point we're trying to make is when you build out your personal brand, at some point in your career, in your business, whatever the case may be, people are going to just start coming to you, right? Whether it's through a friend or you have your business cards or whatever and have a QR code on there and people can scan it, like making it really accessible. Like people are going to come back to the old content, especially if there's value in it, especially if they can learn something, right?
Long after we're gone and leave this earth too. Think about the legacy aspect of what
Legacy.
we're
Yep.
talking about. Your kids and your grandkids can see this stuff. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool as well. It lives on the internet forever.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna be exciting for for me and
Mm-hmm.
you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna have content for years to come, man. Our
Yep.
grands are gonna love it. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
want to be respectful of your time, Josh. And I know next week we're gonna be talking about networking and relationship building, which I think is another lost art,
Mm-hmm.
within itself. But you know, there's no other way, right? You talk to somebody that's not closing deals in real estate, and they're probably not closing deals. Why? Because they're not on the phone, or
Mm-hmm.
they're not engaging, right? So I'm really excited to talk about that next week, and to get some of your perspective, because being able to have these long-term relationships that are valuable can be extremely valuable for our business, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Totally.
Um, do you have any closing thoughts, like on the content creation and marketing?
Everything is an opportunity. Everything's a networking event. Everything is, a chance to give some insights into your world. Um, you may not think you got a lot going on, or your life isn't that interesting, or people aren't really like interested in this type of stuff, but people are watching. We talked about not looking at the likes and the views. You'd be surprised how many people see what you're doing. And you'll start to hear people saying, I love what you're doing on social media, keep doing your thing. And you'll think, you never even liked one of my posts. You
Yeah.
never even commented on one of my, I didn't even know you were watching. But I don't take offense to it. I encourage nobody else to take offense to it, because whether you think they see you or not, they do see you. You know what I mean? So start small with what we talked about today and continue to build on it and have some fun with it. Don't think about it as a chore or a task. Just get busy.
Think of it as an opportunity,
An
right?
opportunity. Yeah.
Like who's gonna see this, and when they see it, what is their response, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are they gonna think? And that's kind of like, man, bro, honestly, like, and it's like, I don't even care if anybody else got any value of it. But like, on Saturday I posted that reel, one of our clip ups, man, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was proud of the content, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this looks good. It sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It's my style. It's, me and my brother, we're really setting the bar high. We're setting a standard. And I was proud of it myself. So I think a lot of people, they need to inventory some of the stuff that you've already done, and just start with that, and start recreating and repurposing. But most of all, do it in a way where it actually brings value to where you're at, right? Because I know that me and you, Josh, one of the things we do is like, if I have to get a long point across to you, it's like I'll send you a video. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, content creation is a new communication tool as well. So,
100%.
man, this was good, Josh. This was really good, man. You already know, if they're tapped into the network, please go ahead and subscribe. Your network is your net worth. Send this to 3 friends that should be on social media and they're not. And have them like this video and tap in for the rest of the series. Next week, we'll be talking about networking and relationship building. And one thing I just want to touch on real quick is, you talked about events, right? I don't really think real estate agents or entrepreneurs in general understand lead generation and events, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, man.
that's the ultimate lead gen, right? Is events.
Yeah, man. I mean, building that fear of missing out, building those registrations, especially it's a free event. If I was a real estate agent, I would have people registering for my open houses. Whether or not they even show up, at least they're looking to buy a house, and you'll catch them on the next one, or you just got a lead like that. You know what I mean? Everything's an event. You know, all all the above. So always have something to talk about, and like I said earlier, leverage your partners in mortgage and title, in credit repair, and come up with an event and put it 45 days out, and just constantly have something to push and promote.
Ooh.
Even if 5 people show up, 500 people are going to hear about it, and they're going to want to be at the next one after they see all your event recaps. Always know what you're going to be promoting next. So before your upcoming event's done, you already know what you're promoting after that. And it's not a
hence the
it's
call
not
to
a,
action, right? Hence the call to action, right?
It's not a big fancy event. It's not a big gala or a big golf tournament. You don't have to worry about anything crazy. Just know what that next event is and have that link for people to register. That's how you build your database organically.
Drop the mic, people, man. And I'm sending this to my wife's class of soon to be real estate agents. Shout out to them. Shout out to my wife. She finished her class. Thank you. She finished her class last week, bro, and
good stuff.
She passed. And it's just the exam to actually go take the test, but pass with flying colors. So I'm so proud of her, and more than ever, right? Is like when we did sit down with her class, they were asking about like easiest ways to build a database, right? And Josh, as they asked me about building a database, you know what I had all of them do? I had them all come and scan my Popple, got all of their emails, right? Got all of their phone numbers, and it's like, this stuff ain't super complicated, bro, right? Like, we trying to help some people out. We got
I can show you better than I can tell you. Shout out, Popple.
Hello. Yeah, Popple, we need to talk, Popple. We got to talk. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on. Very respectful of your time. We're respectful of everybody else's time as well, because we want this digestible. We want it bite size. And I don't even think I showed you, right? But the team is behind the scenes working and crushing it. And we already have last week repurposed on YouTube a couple of different formats. And that's, for anybody watching, that's what I'm personally working on in my business right now is, that last piece of being able to really repurpose content for different platforms and different audiences, as well as leveraging existing content to be able to save time and, build your brand, of course. So, we're doing this in real time, peoples. Me and Josh did this in an effort to, one, create content. Every day is content day, baby. 2, to grow our social medias, because collaboration over competition, we are better together. And 3, because we want you to win.
Yes, that part.
We want you to win.
Let's win together.
We could just end with that, bro, because let's just win together. And please slide through to the next event. Go ahead and give your announcements, Josh, and then, we could get out of here. What you got going on? Upcoming events.
Very limited space for this Wednesday's Women History Month breakout networking event at Penn Street E-Co-working, part of Billy Penn Studios, 1516 North 5th Street. Reach out if you need the link to that. It's going to be a very unique and powerful networking experience, highlighting a lot of influential women in history with a lot of awesome, mostly real estate professionals. So that's this Wednesday, March 29th, May 4th at the Buck Hotel. Anybody involved with Bucks County Real Producers who hasn't registered already or who needs more information, reach out to me on that. And a lot more coming up May 11th at the Navy Yard, 4th annual golf outing at Philmont Country Club in October, and a few other things to be announced.
Man, listen, let's get it, man. Your network is your net worth. You guys are tapped in with the Content Creating Realtor and the Wolf of Broad Street. This is week 2. Visibility plus credibility equals profitability. Today we talked about content creation and marketing. Check it out. Check out the whole video, man. Tap in with us next week. We're going to be talking about networking and relationship building. Josh, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your partnership, your brotherhood, your friendship, because we riding this thing all the way to the top, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen.